telling schools what they should teach. I get really tired of everybody running down teachers. I love our teachers. And what they have done through COVID, these are real heroes that deserve our respect.
That line from Democrat Terry McAuliffe was the defining moment of last night's Virginia gubernatorial debate. And sometimes shocking gaffes or, Freudian slips can define an entire campaign, for better or worse. Republican candidate Glenn Youngkin is betting that it's the latter.
We watched parents so upset because there was such sexually explicit material in the library.
I decided to check the titles at my child's school. Both of these books include pedophilia, graphically describes engaging in fellatio with male minors.
You vetoed the bill that would have informed parents that they were there.
Yeah, I stopped the bill that I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach. I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach.
Glenn Youngkin, Virginia gubernatorial candidate, joins me now. Glenn, thanks so much for being here. Your thoughts when you heard McAuliffe say that when you were on stage with him last night?
What we saw last night on full display with flashing red lights was Terry McAuliffe's heart, that he believes that government and politicians know better for our children than parents. He wants to exclude parents from being involved in educating our children. Laura, Virginia parents have been standing up for the rights of their kids for the last 20 months, fighting against school boards who've been trying to impose all kinds of things on them. They've been asking for our schools to be open. And what you saw last night was what they all suspected, that Terry McAuliffe does not care what they believe. He wants to dictate what they learn. He wants to teach our children how to think, and he wants to excuse parents from all of it. This is not just Virginia parents, Laura. Every parent in America suspects this is going on in schools, and Terry McAuliffe just told us he's the godfather of the current progressive Democrat Party, and here he just showed his heart. This is what they believe.
Well,
we're having a campaign in Virginia right now. We're having a campaign in Virginia right now, and it's no longer a campaign. It's a movement, Laura. And I invite everybody to join the movement. Join us at youngkinforgovernor.com and watch Virginia stand up, not just for Virginia parents, but for America's parents.
All right. Townhall.com today is reporting that the McAuliffes send their kids to a private school outside of D.C., and his wife is on the board of trustees, was on the board of trustees for the school while their kids were students there. Now, I don't begrudge his wife wanting to help shape the kids' education at their schools. I think that's great. It's a private school. I have no problem with that. But if his wife can help shape kids' education at school, then, and she's a parent of the kids, why is that wrong for anybody else in Loudoun County, where they're fighting the radical transgender stuff happening there, or the critical race theory, or any of these issues?
Well, here's the hypocrisy of Terry McAuliffe and what he wants to be the ruling class. His worldview is, I know better than you, and yet it doesn't have to apply to me. We saw it just a couple weeks ago when he's been calling for mask mandates, and then he boards a train and violates federal law and won't even put a mask on. What we saw last night was the full display of his worldview. He wants to force everyone to join a union and get rid of our right to work. He absolutely wants employers to fire people who don't get the vaccine. And he wants to shut our parents out of the education of their children.
Glenn,
this
really
is Terry
quickly.
McAuliffe. This is why voters are rejecting
Glenn, I got to
him.
get into a question really quickly, and I have a quick response. Northern Virginia is where so many of the voters are in this race. Very quickly, how will you try to appeal to minority voters in Northern Virginia, Hispanics, Indian Americans, other Americans? How would you try to appeal to them?
The broad minority voters in Northern Virginia are just as upset at our school system as all the parents have been on display. And what we're doing is listening to them. We're sharing with them a future where we're going to have charter schools where they can have choice. And guess what? They are, in fact, part of this movement of parents that are going to march us to victory this fall. And on behalf of all America, Virginians are going to win and make a statement that we're rejecting the left liberal progressives. This is going to happen, Laura, and it's really, really humbling to be part of it.
Glenn, a lot of small businesses in Northern Virginia, they got just hammered during this COVID thing, and they want to just be in business. So I'll be fascinated to see what happens.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.